The film begins with Anna, a nurse, who finishes her long shift at the hospital. She walks through the hallways, exchanging small talk with coworkers and watching as a patient is rushed in with a strange bite wound. No one seems overly concerned, and Anna heads home, unaware that the world is on the brink of collapse. When she arrives at her suburban home, she greets her husband, Luis, and they settle into their normal evening routine. Their moment is peaceful, with the couple sharing a shower and relaxing together. News reports in the background hint at growing unrest, but Anna and Luis are too preoccupied with each other to pay attention. The tranquility is shattered the next morning. A little girl from the neighborhood, Vivian, stands silently in the doorway of their bedroom. But something is horribly wrong. Her face is pale, her eyes are sunken, and blood drips from her mouth. Before Anna or Luis can react, she lunges at Luis and bites deep into his neck, tearing through his flesh. Blood pours from the wound as Luis stumbles back, horrified. Anna rushes to help him, trying desperately to stop the bleeding. She frantically calls for help, but within moments, Luis convulses, stops breathing, and dies in front of her. Then, Luis's corpse suddenly twitches and sits upright. His eyes are lifeless, his expression blank. He is transformed into one of the undead. Without hesitation, Luis lunges at Anna, snarling and snapping his teeth. She barely escapes as he chases her through the house, smashing through the door in his relentless pursuit. Anna scrambles to lock doors, but Luis is too strong. As he bursts through, she flees through the bathroom window, crashing onto the lawn below. Outside, the world is in chaos. Fires burn, screams fill the air, and panicked neighbors run in every direction. Cars crash, bodies litter the streets, and undead figures attack anyone they see. Anna jumps into her car and speeds away, desperately trying to escape. As Anna drives through the madness, narrowly avoiding crashing into other fleeing vehicles. A gas station explodes, houses burn, and people are ripped apart by the undead. The suburban neighborhood has turned into a full-scale nightmare. As Anna speeds down the highway, a man tries to flag her down for help, but she swerves to avoid him and crashes into a ditch. The impact knocks her unconscious. Later, Anna wakes up in the wreckage of her crashed car. Dazed and disoriented, suddenly, a man with a shotgun suddenly appears, Kenneth, a police officer. He aims his weapon at her, but when he sees she isn't infected, he lowers it. Kenneth is cautious and distrustful but allows Anna to follow him. Together, they walk through a deserted road, carefully avoiding any sign of danger. Soon, they come across two more survivors, Michael, a quiet but resourceful man, and Andre, a tough and protective soon-to-be father. Andre is accompanied by his pregnant wife, Luda, who looks weak but insists she's fine. The group quickly realizes they need shelter and agree to head to the nearby Crossroads Mall, hoping it will provide safety. As they approach, they find the mall's doors locked. Kenneth, being the strongest, forces one open, and they hurry inside, sealing the entrance behind them. The inside of the mall is eerily quiet, but the group doesn't have time to relax. As they explore, they are ambushed by 3 armed security guards, CJ, Bart, and Terry, who have taken control of the building. The guards immediately assert their authority, forcing the survivors to surrender their weapons. CJ, the aggressive leader of the guards, doesn't trust the newcomers and makes it clear that he's in charge. He orders them to stay in a confined space while he and his men patrol the mall. Despite the tense situation, Michael tries to reason with CJ, convincing him that they all need to work together if they want to survive. After some time, CJ agrees to collaborate and assigns tasks to the survivors to secure the mall and make it more livable. Michael, Anna, and Andre take the initiative to go to the roof of the mall, where they write a large SOS message in the hope of attracting the attention of any passing aircraft. However, their hopes are quickly dashed when they see a large number of zombies converging on the mall, increasing the sense of danger and urgency. They also hear gunshots from a nearby building and spot a survivor fighting off zombies, highlighting the widespread chaos and the fact that they are not alone in this nightmare. A helicopter flies near the mall, and the survivors desperately try to flag it down, waving and shouting in the hope of being rescued. However, the helicopter flies away, leaving the group to realize that they are on their own and that no government or outside help is coming. CJ, still distrustful of the others, locks Michael's group in a shop and walks away, further escalating the tension within the group. Later, CJ watches a news broadcast that provides crucial information about the zombies. The reporter explains that the zombies are driven by a need to feed on warm flesh and lack any intelligence. This information is vital for the survivors as they strategize their defense and try to understand the nature of the threat they are facing. The next morning, CJ sends Terry to get him some coffee, a seemingly mundane task that underscores the group's attempts to maintain a sense of normalcy. Terry reluctantly complies, and while checking the security cameras, he sees Anna changing clothes in another shop. Shortly after, he notices a truck speeding toward the mall and quickly alerts the others. Anna pleads with CJ to let the people in the truck into the mall, but CJ refuses, fearing they might be infected. A heated argument ensues, and Michael and Kenneth take matters into their own hands, disarming CJ and Bart to allow the truck to enter. The group works together to fend off the zombies and bring the new survivors inside. One of the new survivors is a woman who is visibly infected. Anna, being a nurse, checks her and notices that her body temperature is unusually cold, which she finds odd. The woman eventually dies and reanimates as a zombie, attacking Anna. In a tense and harrowing moment, Anna grabs a metal rod and kills the zombie, showcasing her resourcefulness and strength. This incident highlights the constant danger the group faces, even within the relative safety of the mall. Andre is particularly concerned about his pregnant girlfriend, who is also in the mall. He visits her in the baby clothes shop, where she is looking through items for their unborn child. Andre feels the baby moving and shares a tender moment with his girlfriend, clinging to the hope of a future despite the horrors surrounding them. Elsewhere, Kenneth forms a bond with the man trapped in the shop across from the mall. They communicate and play chess using signs, providing a rare moment of human connection and normalcy amidst the chaos. As weeks go by, the group settles into a routine, trying to live as ordinary a life as possible under the circumstances. They share meals and talk about their lives before the outbreak, attempting to maintain a sense of humanity and normalcy. However, tensions and secrets continue to simmer beneath the surface. Anna becomes suspicious about the condition of Andre's girlfriend, but Andre refuses to let her see her, adding another layer of complexity to the group's dynamics. Elsewhere, Andre's girlfriend, Luda, who is heavily pregnant, begins to show signs of deterioration. Her condition worsens, and it's evident that the infection is taking hold of her body. Andre, desperate and in denial, tries to care for her, clinging to the hope that she and their unborn child might survive. The tension builds as Luda goes into labor. Andre is by her side, trying to help her through the process, but it's clear that something is terribly wrong. Luda's breathing becomes labored, and she suddenly stops breathing altogether. She dies, leaving Andre in shock and grief. However, the horror is far from over. As Andre listens to her stomach, he feels the baby kicking, a sign that the child is still alive. Suddenly, Luda reanimates as a zombie. Her eyes snap open, and she lunges at Andre, trying to bite him. Andre, in a frantic and desperate move, grabs her and restrains her to the bed. He clamps his hand over her mouth to prevent her from biting him, but the struggle is intense. Despite being restrained, Luda's body begins to convulse as she starts to push the baby out. The scene is gruesome and unsettling, as Andre is forced to deliver the baby while fending off his zombified girlfriend. At this moment, Norma, another survivor, walks into the room to check on Andre and Luda. She is horrified by what she sees: Luda, now a zombie, thrashing on the bed, and Andre holding their newborn baby. Norma, acting on instinct and fear, pulls out a gun and shoots Luda, killing the zombie. However, Andre, overwhelmed with grief and rage, retaliates. He attacks Norma, and in the ensuing struggle, he kills her. Norma, in her final moments, manages to shoot Andre before succumbing to her wounds. Later, the group rushes to the nursery shop to investigate. They find Norma dead, and Andre and Luda lifeless as well. The group is devastated, but their attention quickly turns to the newborn baby. Upon checking the infant, they discover that the baby is also infected. In a heart-wrenching decision, they realize they have no choice but to kill the baby as it's now turned into a zombie. With the mall no longer feeling safe and their food supplies running dangerously low, the group decides it's time to leave. They formulate a plan to head to a nearby lake, where they believe they can find boats and escape the infected. Their reasoning is that the zombies cannot swim, making the lake a potentially safer location. The group begins preparing for their departure, knowing that the journey will be perilous. The men in the group take on the task of modifying the trucks they plan to use for their escape. They weld fences and sharp wires around the vehicles to make it harder for zombies to climb onto them. Meanwhile, the group discusses the fate of their friend, the man trapped on the roof of a nearby building. They realize it's too dangerous to go on foot or by vehicle to deliver food to him, as the streets are teeming with zombies. Kenneth comes up with a creative solution, using Nicole's dog to carry food to the trapped survivor. The group theorizes that the zombies, which are only interested in humans, will ignore the dog. They attach food to the dog and send it on its mission. At first, the plan seems to work. The zombies pay little attention to the dog as it makes its way to the survivor's store. However, the dog inadvertently leads a group of zombies to the store, and they manage to break in. The group tries to contact the survivor over the radio, but he doesn't respond, leaving them to fear the worst. That evening, the group decides it's time to make their move. They rush to the parking lot, get into the modified trucks, and drive off. The streets are filled with zombies, and the survivors struggle to force their way through the horde. The situation seems dire until CJ throws a can of gas into the crowd of zombies and shoots it, causing a massive explosion. The resulting wave of fire destroys most of the zombies, clearing a path for the group to drive away. As they drive, CJ notices that Kenneth's group's truck has crashed through a wall. He demands that Michael stop and reverse their truck to help them. In the chaos, Steve, one of the survivors, panics and steals a gun, deciding to save himself. He jumps out of the truck but is immediately attacked by a zombie. Kenneth manages to recover and helps the others escape the crashed truck. As they prepare to leave, Steve reappears as a zombie, but Anna quickly kills him, sparing no time for hesitation. The group gets back on the road and heads toward the lake. When they arrive, they find that the zombies are still hot on their trail. In a final act of heroism, CJ decides to sacrifice himself to ensure the rest of the group can escape. He opens a gas tank in his truck, sets it up to explode, and stays behind to detonate it. The explosion creates a diversion, allowing the others to reach the boats. As the group boards the boat, Michael reveals that he has been bitten and refuses to join them. He tells the group to carry on without him, knowing he will soon turn into a zombie. Anna is heartbroken but has no choice but to leave him behind. Michael takes his own life before he can turn, ensuring he won't become a threat to the others. Make sure to like and subscribe for more notifications. Until next time. See you soon.